Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. My chat says I choose the best one, and I want to be detective.
Ma'am, allow me to introduce one of our country's most elite detectives.
The name's Junario. I hardly call myself elite, but either way, it's nice to meet you. This here is the brilliant Chief Inspector Satsumi, and yes, he's just as rough and tumble as he looks.
Sometimes I really don't know if you're complimenting me or putting me down.
How are you so you two are detectives?
This is my client, Mrs. Haruhi Shigema. Her father's a big deal in the police himself, so remember to mind your manners.
A big wig named Shigema. The boss? Do you know this guy?
I've heard the name, but you know I don't keep track of who's who in the upper echelons.
There's no need to worry. I'm my own person after all, and my father has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, did you hear that, boss? Looks like you're getting off easy this time.
Don't make it sound like I'm involved in some shady business. It ain't like that.
You both seem rather jovial despite being detectives. How rare. All the police officers I've met have always been so dull.
Well, don't find any dull cops here. We'll round up criminals with a smile. That's our motto.
Oh, lovely. Keep it up.
Just hold on one second. This is the first I'm hearing of that. Well, you're right about not being your typical detectives.
A young and energetic detective. He seems to have a strong sense of justice. If my son had a chance to grow older, perhaps he would have become an officer just like him. It seems like he's got a lot of experience working the streets. Most of the officers I know are bureaucratic disc jockey types. The contrast is rather striking. I thought we might cause trouble standing in the middle of the street talking like this, but so far we haven't drawn attention. Then again, this might just be because nobody wants to get involved with the case. Lucky us. It seems that we're acquainted, but also like they haven't talked in a long time. I guess knowing how to deal with the cops is also part of an investigator's job.
Not quite. The two of us used to be comrades is all.
Comrades? That's right. Richter used to be a part of the police force himself. He quit a few years ago to go solo. Is that so?
You should give it a try, Ario. There's more freedom in working as a private investigator. Can't say much for the quality of life, though.
It's been 2 years, right? I hadn't heard of you since you quit.
I didn't think your business would last, but here you are.
You sure don't want to return to the force? We take you back with open arms.
What? Sit down on my butt and watch the birds fly? I'll take a pass. I don't belong in that world.
Come on, Richter. We need your talent. The public needs you.
Nah, you don't. This is my calling. The police will just manage just fine without me. I'll keep on tying up all your loose ends, saving you the little birdies you abandoned.
Huh. I can't believe you were actually part of the police force once.
There's a story behind everything, ma'am. I don't regret my time on the force. I wouldn't have connections I have today without it.
What brings you here, Richter? You want a case?
That's right. I'm picking up the police's slack. I trust you remember the kidnapping and murder case from last year?
Oh, I remember now. You're Haruhi Shigema from the kidnapping case. Huh? Did I miss something? Don't be an idiot. It was the case where Munasuda Shigema's grandson was kidnapped. Must have been your son, ma'am. Indeed. The story was suppressed by the news. In the end, it was considered a huge failure on the police department's fault. Most of the investigation was conducted in secret. And unfortunately, the department is unwilling to reopen the case.
Any investigation carried out afterwards turned up nothing after all, which is why now I'm part of the job.
So they never caught the culprit. That's rough. So your findings have brought you to this place then?
That's right. An individual connected to the case used to live around here.
Used to?
That's right. As of last week, they're deceased. We were hoping to talk to the family. No one was home when I checked last time, so I figured we'd try again.
Interesting. It sure doesn't look good on the police to be mishandling cases like these. If there really was a culprit, it should be our responsibility to bring them to justice. Well, I do consider the police my people. So you consider the blame to be shared. You've got a stern side as well, I see. Okay, he's just gonna repeat that right now.
By the way, ma'am, this might be sudden, but there's something I'd like to confirm with you.
And that is?
Do you happen to know anything about the 7 mysteries of Honjo? Sorry, Chief, but that's hardly...
With all due respect, investigator, I think my question was addressed to the lady.
If you insist.
What do you say, ma'am? Can you tell us anything? Can't say I know much.
Is that so? Well, sorry for the intrusion. He's going to know that she lied. Come to think of it, I heard some things about the area last night. Something about a strange yet conspicuous man dressed in white loitering around.
Wait a second. I assume they were talking about you, investigator.
Well, I won't argue that I'm strange and conspicuously dressed in white.
And as it turns out, I was here last night to conduct my investigation. Did you run into anything strange or out of the ordinary?
Out of the ordinary? I guess I did observe a few suspicious characters.
We were asking about the curses just now. Why would a public servant be interested in the occult? Boss, Richard's a smart man. He can help us if we tell him what we know.
I can't promise I'll be of any help to you, but I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. If something's happening to Honjo, isn't there? There must be something big if they've got you head office guys on it.
Well, I guess it's alright. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Thank you, boss. Listen closely to what we're about to say, Richter.
Huh. So by using curses to commit murders, these people collect soul drakes to perform the rite of resurrection. And these curse stones are somehow connected to the 7 mysteries of Honjo? It's a tough story to swallow, but I don't see reason to doubt you either. 1 second. I don't have any reason to doubt you either. Sorry about that. We figured it was strange occurrences happening around here, recently connected to the curses. To get the situation under control, we've been searching for curse bearers to confiscate their curse stones. Do you have any information that might be helpful to us? That's tough. I never expected curses and other mumbo-jumbo to play into this all. But if we're talking about shady characters, it was a middle-aged fellow I saw on South Warigasui Street. He had an average build. He was anxious, like he was searching for prey. Boss, what do you think? Well, considering the location, it would have been Hideki Araishi. We already got his curse stone. Impressive. You two are working quick. Did you see anything else? Not that I can remember. That's a shame. He knows. He knows they're lying. So, each curse requires a special condition to activate, and the person who holds the curse can be made aware that it's happening. Wait, except it's daytime, so they have the advantage on that. Otherwise, Tetsuo's curse of the Evergreen Beach would be going off like crazy because they're misleading him. Victor's amazing. He coaxed out so much information we didn't know about the curse bearers from them. There's no way we could cooperate with them when we're trying to get our hands on the right ourselves. If you see any characters who look like they might be carrying a curse stone, it'd be a huge help to let us know. Absolutely. I'll let you know if I find anything. Victor, perhaps you could lend a hand on our case too. There's a number of people we can't track, and finding missing persons happens to be your specialty, no? I hate to disappoint you, but I'm busy enough with this case. The faith of my clients is what keeps me afloat. I have to prioritize requests by the order in which they come. Well, I can't say that's not fair. What do you need a private investigator for anyway? The cops should have plenty of bright folks on the throw at a job. True, but this isn't an ordinary case we're dealing here. Huh? By the way, that reminds me, Richter. Yes? You said the person who used to live here died last week. You wouldn't be referring to Michio Shiraishi by any chance. You knew? I thought so. It seems like we're here for the same reason then. Seriously? Michio was involved with the curses and magic? Strictly speaking, the curse isn't our concern. We're looking into Yoshimi's case. Yoshimi? Oh right, Hajime Yoshimi's. That's right. He died on the job. I'm sure you heard of it. I heard it. It was a most unfortunate loss. There's a connection between Hajime Yoshimi and the Juvenile Division and Michio. Well, hold on. Let's focus on Michio for a second. You think she has something to do with the kidnapping? Talk about unforeseen developments. Exchanging information should prove mutually beneficial. I'll tell you what I know, but in turn, I want the full scoop on your findings concerning Michio. Sure, to tell the truth... What? You believe Michio's ghost is the one who killed Mr. Jonuchi? So he wasn't just mumbling nonsense! I mean, we haven't fully confirmed anything yet, but the testimonies we heard and the evidence we found point in that direction. Testimony? You mean from those, psychic high schoolers? Didn't they also say there was a chance Michio hadn't killed herself? Wait, if that's true, then... Did you figure something out? Kankichiro Iwai! Huh? Kankichiro Iwai! He'll be the next victim! You have to open the door to Shirashi's house. We need to look inside. What's gotten into you? Boss? I'm sure the landlord would give us a key if we asked. Screw that! How long would it take? We can ask for permission later. Richter? Hey, Richter, calm down. We can't just... And he just busted the door down. Take that, door! That's how you do it. Richter, get a hold of yourself. See, you're still the same as always. Everyone, come quick, look at this. Oh, God. Oh, what's up with this room? Boss, there's a dead body in here. Whoa, that be Michio's dad? Nah, it's her stepdad at best. It's gotta be the body of Kankichiro Iwai. There's no doubt about it. This man's a goner. He's gotten real messed up. Looks like he's been like this for a while. I'd say it happened last night. Ario, did you find Janochi's body in the same state? Now that you mention it, it looks as though Kohei Janochi had died from a number of heavy blows. What are you suggesting, investigator? It was Michio Shirashi. She's alive! She used the power of the curses to get back at the men who ruined her life. It's ridiculous. You're suggesting that she actually revived. It's gotta be that. And if she's alive, then...
My apologies for interrupting. I know we've just arrived at an interesting plot point. But do you really think a dead girl is going around taking revenge from beyond the grave? Consider this. What if Michio Shiraishi never died? But seeing as you've come this far, I'm sure you already know the truth, don't you? And so, I would have to answer me a question. Where in Honjo was Michio Shiraishi at the hour of 8 o'clock this morning? Oh, I have to figure this out? I have my suspicions about Yako. The candy shop of Sonoya. I see. Very well. Congratulations. You are correct. Yes! 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 Let's go! Wait. Hold on. So either two separate theories. Either Michio never actually died and is posing as Yako. Oh my god. That means these curses have been around for longer than just that night. As expected, you got it in one go. Well, the cause of death was such, was it not? You must have noticed some time ago. Let's get back to the story then, shall we? I've taken up enough of your time. I don't know who...
Are you Mr. Nakagaoki? Wait, so you think Michio Shiraishi is alive? Just think it through and it all becomes obvious. It tracks, but do you really think that girl could have managed all this? First of all, Ario, go report this to HQ. Understood. I'll get on it right away. I'll start investigating this place. I'm sure there isn't lacking in stuff that needs looking at. There's a bunch of photos of the same person posted on the wall over there. Huh? Whoa now! Hold on, these photos! They're all of Fumichika Nejima! Gross. Really? Come to think of it, he was in the papers a lot back in the day. There's even more pasted up over there. These are all cutouts from newspapers and magazines about the Nejima murders. I don't get it. Why the weirdo shrine? Let's keep looking around. It's the same man in every picture. Isn't that Fumichika Nejima? Wow, it's quite a spectacle. I don't think I'll ever manage to erase this from my mind.
Don't worry, Victor. You're quite the spectacle yourself.
You mean to compare me with the likes of a bizarre criminal? There are old books scattered everywhere. I wonder what they're about. Many of them are written in a foreign language. It'll be a pain to go through all these. Let's save them for later and continue to look around. This drawer's really old. Chief Inspector, do you mind if I look inside? Huh? I mean, in normal cases, only the police would be allowed to touch things, right? Right, Ario isn't here. So let me take a look at it. They're just clothes in here. Not much variety either. Can't say they were big spenders. Well, I was hoping to find a kind of talisman here, but I guess we're not so lucky. I see. Thank you anyway. The window and the storm shutter are closed. No light gets in here at all. It's pitch black. The neighbors mentioned that they started to keep the house shut like this not long ago. The sliding door leads to the kitchen. It barely fits the frame. Probably jammed then. It's off-putting to look at, but I can't help but wonder what world this is. They're magic runes. They're used like Western black magic rituals. Most of them are just useless imitations, though. I wouldn't get too excited about it. Oh my? Who knew the chief inspector is such an expert on the occult? I just chanced upon that information. That girl with the spirit sense we mentioned, she's pretty informed on the subject. Someone was attempting to perform Western black magic in this place. Pretty absurd if you ask me. The roommate lives. Of course, the person in question was dead serious about it all. While magic is obviously classed as a branch of mysticism, or may variously refer to the likes of witchcraft or astrology, here it refers to specifically Western black magic. In the Middle Ages, line between science and magic was blurred. Yeah, it was referred to as alchemy. Alchemy, astronomy, and other. With the pursuit of the supernatural considered a legitimate academic discipline, astrology was regarded akin to astronomy, while alchemy was accepted as scientific fact and would eventually evolve into what is known today as chemistry. Yep, that's true. One discipline, however, was considered wicked and shunned accordingly: black magic, the practice of using magical knowledge to strike a bargain with demons. In contrast, the socially acceptable subjects studied the intelligentsia. Black magic was most prolific among the lower classes. It was the common people who suffered the most from the ills of the day: war, famine, and sickness, which perhaps led to them to seek aid from unholy powers. As heresy, these rituals and spells were nowhere to be found in orthodox modes of teaching, but instead were recorded in tomes of dubious credibility. That actually checks out. Alright. Again, I give props to whoever did this game, because they really thought this through. These aren't just cut out from publications, they're even snapped a number of shots of their own. Must have admired him. Why else would they have collected so many pictures? Whatever the case, they were certainly obsessed. Look at these pictures of Fumichika Nejima cut out from the newspapers and magazines. Whoever put these up was obsessed. Wonder what their intent was. You think the Shiraishis are somehow connected to Nejima's case? Perhaps they did this as to not forget a grudge or something. It's crazy to think Nejima might be involved in all this too. Do you think he might have anything to do with the body here? Maybe. The man's already out on parole. He's a curse bearer with a curse stone now. He just announced at sundown he'll be going on a killing spree. Dear? There's an emergency search underway as we speak, but no one's yet managed to get a hold of him. So he hasn't changed his ways. That doesn't bode well. To tell the truth, the lady here isn't completely unconnected from the Nejima murders either. You don't say.
That's right. We talked about it last night. 20 years ago, I found the hand in the Sumida River that brought the incident to light.
You don't say. You were the kid from back then.
You were really brave.
You did a great deed.
Were you the detective I spoke with? I had no idea.
So you two have met before. Fancy that. I've been worried that Fumichika Nejima might bear resentment towards you, ma'am. You might be right. Unfortunately, that ass is quite the resentful type.
Oh dear.
I wonder who put the idea into his head. Now he's got the one-sided read, too. He's threatening to massacre the people of Honjo at sundown. Seriously? On top of that, he's been itching to get revenge on me as well. Of all things, the man's gone and threatened to kill my daughter. Damn, it's quite a threat. Certainly you can't afford to stay put here. Bastard wants to get us all antsy. Finally get to arresting him and all with a cool head. Not gonna give him the pleasure, huh? Well, if Iwai and Fumichika Nejima have anything to do with each other, in this room might hold a clue to Nejima's location. Let's hope so. The person who put all these photos must be obsessed with Nejima. Might have had some relation to Nejima's victims, or perhaps it was the opposite. The opposite. What if it wasn't loathing, but admiration?
But then...
Looks like the things spread around here have been like this for a while now. It's ritual, whatever, was something he attempted up to recently. Plenty of neighbors mentioned having heard strange mantra-like noises come from here during the night. You think EY was the one chanting? Hard to say. Could have been one with the Shirashis as well. If we look through the books in the back, we might learn whatever it is they were trying to do. It'll be a pain looking through all these. Let's save them for later and continue looking around. There's nothing to confirm about around to confirm his identity, but it looks of him, I'd say he's Kankichiro Iwa. You've seen him before? I heard he had a criminal record, so I assume he wouldn't have held a respectable occupation.
Is that what a curse does to a person? Yeah, and you're thinking of cursing people.
Ma'am, it'd be better not to look so closely. I'm impressed. I legit thought the voice was the game. Oh, that's me.
It's amazing.
Cruel's what it is. What do you say, Chief? Would you let me look through if I wore gloves?
Well, it's not like I'm any help with the foreign languages. Go ahead.
Thank you. There seems to be a book on Western black magic. These runes are the same written here, alongside detailed descriptions of the procedures. I suppose you could call these grimoires. It's all a bunch of nonsense if you ask me, though.
You think this EY guy was trying to study them?
Perhaps perform some kind of ritual. There are a bunch of handwritten notes beside the grimoires. Whoever it was, they were serious about this. EY doesn't look like the type to be into this stuff, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
But why would he be studying black magic?
According to the materials, this here is a room for restoration of youth. Perhaps he was trying to become young again. This over here seems to be black magic related to resurrection. Each one of these spells requires a human sacrifice. Talk about dangerous.
Resurrection? Like the rite?
I guess no matter what part of the world, people will turn to the occult for similar reasons. What is it? This looks like a journal. It's probably EY's. A journal? His writing is surprisingly thorough. It's almost as if he was writing a report for someone. Oh, now this is something. What is it? What did he write? It's quite the find. Let me give you the summary. So this Kankichiro Iwa fellow, you've been searching for a spell to restore youth for years.
So he was into black magic from the start.
He believed he could learn to successfully perform the spell. He could then use it to earn a fortune. To tell you the truth, it seems like he was already getting funded after he acquired this grimoire.
You don't say. This is starting to sound kind of familiar. What if he was researching a way to restore youth for, the woman at the Hahime soaps?
But first, let me find out how he got his hands on this grimoire.
It seems that Nejima told him where he could obtain the book when they were both in prison.
What?
That's nearly too much of a coincidence.
Likely not a coincidence. It seems like EY took an interest in Nejima's murders after it made the news. He admired him rather passionately. You might even say he worshipped the man.
Worship? Nejima of all people.
This was a time when students were itching to rebel. Anyone who did something to shake the world was bound to gather admirers. EY had been collecting these photos ever since that time. And since he just so happened to land in prison in the same time as Nejima, he made sure to get in contact. This is a lot. I mean, having it all laid out like this. The thought of Nejima being involved with these grimoires is staggering. I don't think we ever had anything pointing to that. What's the connection? To be honest, it's a shock to me too. For years we've been scratching our heads over motives for Nejima's murders. Yet it's been a mystery to all of us from the very start. Whoa now, wait just a minute, do you think... No way! Are you saying... That's right. The murders might have been for a ritual. He was attempting to perform black magic. The instructions written down for the sacrificial offering match up exactly the acts Nejima carried out. You gotta be kidding me! That sadistic crap he was doing all for black magic? That's what the evidence suggests. However, Nejima tried to do some type of a resurrection ritual, but EY had different motives.
Chief Inspector, you might think this is all stuff of fantasy, but it doesn't refute that Nejima and Iwa were both acting in earnest. That's insane! You're telling me that nutjob is doing this for some hokey-pokey resurrection? Resurrection! That means there must have been someone for Nejima wanting to bring back to life. Damn, that's it! That has to be it! It all makes sense now! What is it? So about the Nejima murders. There's some information that's been kept from the public. Go on. When we broke into his house and arrested him, we also found a baby. Baby? It was a girl. Looked to be about 6 months old, but she was covered in filth. She looked so weak and sickly. We called the medics right away. If we were a second later, I'm sure that girl would have died. So was Nejima the father? He told us he found her under a bridge. Oh, whoops. Found her? She was abandoned? I heard parents threatening to leave their kids under a bridge as a threat, but to think it really happens. I suppose there are those cases with dead newborns stuffed in the coin lockers. So it's not without precedent. Whatever the case, we need to find out the truth. There's one rumor back then that I could never get out of my mind. And it's starting to sound more likely now. Well, I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard of it. Many believe Nejima is guilty of more crimes than what's got him convicted. Back then, a lot of girls went missing. Yeah, I remember about all that. Among the high school girls, they might have been murdered, or maybe I should say sacrificed. It was a girl who was pregnant. Goodness. It's horrific. He killed her and dismembered her body. And we thought that the baby we found, he pulled out from inside of her. Don't misunderstand me. This is all speculation on top of more speculation here. But I, for one, never believed that man would take in a baby found under a bridge. I'm feeling sick. Stay strong, ma'am. I know this is hard to hear. Like I said, I don't take that to be the full truth. We were running on speculation back then. Now this whole resurrection magic has come into play. We should consider the possibility it was his child. And that maybe he was trying to revive whoever the mother might have been. It's just a theory, but my life would be a tad easier if it were true. Yep, the detective. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, that's me. I'm Richter. If there's anyone Nejima would want to resurrect, a deceased wife is as good as any. The fact that he obtained a curse stone suggests that he has an interest in the rite of resurrection. Damn, you're right. Here I was thinking that he was only after the curse's power for massacre. Chief Inspector? Yeah. What happened to the child? Without a birth registration on file, best we could do is find the girl some suitable foster parents. It was decided to keep the circumstances a secret for the sake of the child's future. Oh, I'm glad she was taken care of. So, I don't mean to derail the conversation, but there's still more written in Iwa's journal. You know, Iwa had managed to obtain the grimoire thanks to the advice he got from his idol, Nejima, while in prison. After conducting research and gathering more information, he determined he had a chance to get rich quick. Right, even though he thought he could make some money, he could successfully rejuvenate... Rosemary, thank you for the raid. How was your stream? I hope it was good and well. And everybody who's here, buckle down for some gore and violence and stuff, because we just got to a really critical point in the story. Woo! Thank you for the follow. Folks, thank you for the follow. Thank you for getting us one step closer to making me play Rule of Rose. I'm 80 follows away from 1,000. Holy crap. Oh, it's the scene. I'm so excited. Yes. Before a shout out happens, are you okay with it getting recorded in the YouTube? Cause, ooh, 79. Thank you for Hello, Slimy Box. Thank you for the follow. I'm probably gonna like fast forward this part. Alright, anyway. So, Rosemary, I was saying something earlier, as long as I'm gonna kind of fast forward this part, that, I'm thinking of recording this whole playthrough, and then once I have the whole thing recorded, I'm gonna edit through the whole thing, and do exactly what Square Enix did, and just kind of shadow drop this entire playthrough on one day. Literally just kind of like, and boom, walk away. I'm gonna do it. It's like, you know, Square Enix literally just, I don't think people understand. There was no promo, there was no trailer, there was no nothing. This game just dropped. And it's good. Like, it's really good. I feel like I'm actually having to solve the puzzle. It just dropped. This game just came into existence. And I love it. I love it. I cannot get enough of this. PT? No, not PT. But seriously, if you are grossed out by gore, brace yourselves, because we just found a dead body. This is a murder mystery. Weirdly enough, unlike when I played Danganronpa and stuff, I haven't put any kind of mature warning on this one yet, just because I have yet to see any kind of actual murder happen. Anything that's happening has been entirely in dialogue, which I'm a little more lenient about. I know that's probably weird to say, but it's like when you watch Law and Order and you don't see what's happening, but then you hear the cops talking about it afterward, and it's like, it's shocking to think on, but there's no actual, like, visual stimulation. Yeah. That, and this is really good. Also, I'm gonna take this moment to shamelessly advertise my socials, and I get you a shout out, Rosemary. Let's get that in there. I am not sure how far into this game I am. While this plays through, Rosemary, I want to share some theories I have with you really quick at this point. I actually was thinking that there was probably a dead body in here just because they talked about the mail and stuff and stuff. I was just like, haha, someone died in there. And now it's like, oh, someone actually died in there. Oh, okay. So I have like two theories. Either Yako is possessed by Michio, or Yako isn't actually there and is Michio in disguise. It's got to be one or the other. There has to be a connection between those two. That's more than just like, well, she's my friend, but she stopped talking to me. There is something there. I know there is. I shall not tell you if you're right because the discovery is part of the fun. I know, but it's like, I have a strong feeling, and I love murder mysteries like this. I cannot get enough of them. For now, let's get back to the game. Right, he thought he could make some money if he could successfully use rejuvenation magic. Correct. Turns out someone gave him the idea. And get this. It was the one and only queen, chairwoman of Hihaku Soaps herself, Natsume Yamamori. Called it! Wait, the chairwoman of Hihaku Soaps? So that's where this leads. Here, let me read you what he wrote. Queen of Hihaku has a strange fear of growing old. Her fear of death is even worse. And if she does die, she wishes to be revived. And she will spend whatever it takes to preserve her beauty. Magic, rituals, and rites, she'll use whatever means necessary. Her tenacity is unbelievable. She apparently was investing money into any research on resurrection and restoration of youth and the like. So she would even throw her money at the occult. That place's greed will take you. Well then, that brings us to Hideki Araishi. She presumably funded his research at the site of the Rite of Resurrection as well. That's what it all points towards. I wouldn't be surprised if the Witch of Hihaku pounced on the rumors of the Rite of Resurrection. I think she may have caused the Feast of Shadows. It's starting to sound likely. It might be why she's willing to spread the rumors about having godly powers. It's a convenient cover for her if she becomes young again. Godly powers? What's that all about? You can ignore that. Either way, I think Iwa took the payments he was getting for research to seduce the family into taking him and keep a low profile. The Shirashi family, Michio and her mother, Toshiko, were just as unlucky marks. And this is where you get involved. Are you feeling steady, ma'am? Huh? This has something to do with me? No way. You can't mean... You realize it then. Perhaps? Shirashi's child was a sacrifice? What? Ma'am, please calm down. That wasn't it. Uh-oh. Was I mistaken? Okay, then what did you mean? Ma'am, please calm down. Iwa was involved in Shirashi's to practice magic. He needed a sacrifice to perform his youth restoration spell, but that meant extracting life force from someone young. So she's looking at the man that may have kidnapped and killed her son. So it was Iwai, this man. Iwai worshipped Nejima, so he must have also despised Nejima's detractors. Not to mention, he was captured and sent to jail once before. Surely he had a bone to pick with the police. So when he realized he had a chance to both avenge Nejima, embarrass the police, and acquire a living sacrifice all at the same time... Ugh. You got it! Iwai kidnapped Haruhi Shigima's son and managed to score 3 birds with 1 stone! Tell me then, that horrid man never had the intention of returning my child? I thought there might have been a reason why the kidnapper seemed to be mocking the police. He never wanted money, his aim was to humiliate the force. It all makes sense. Must have used Michio to lower your boy's defenses and then kidnapped him on his way back home. Uh-oh. Man, he took Shuichi. Ma'am, please calm down. I understand, but you must remember to breathe. You don't understand! Absolutely no idea what I've been going through. This isn't a joke. Expect the police to understand. You'll never understand. Make sacrifices. Stupid idea from a stupid little man. Okay, ma'am. Just take a moment to breathe. Why don't we go get some fresh air? I can't believe this. This is... Chief, I think it's best we take our leave. Before we go, there's one more important piece of information noted in his journal. Iwai got in contact with Nejima last year after Nejima was released from parole. He provided him with accommodation and financial support. That's so. He managed to find a hideout for Nejima to stay in. If anything, rather than use his money to support the Shirashis, it seems most went to Nejima instead. If Nejima is lurking around at the moment, he's probably in that hideout. Did he write where it is? Fortunately, no. Not that I can tell. But it seems Michio knew where it was. She never met with Nejima in person. She was made to go in and clean among other things. Afris! Thank you for the raid! How was your stream? What did you play? Did you enjoy yourself? And also, really quick, I am recording for YouTube. Are you okay if I shout you out? And then a clip of yours will play in the video. Just want to make sure I get approval first. Sure. Okay, do. Also, welcome to horror. You literally showed up in a murder mystery as we found a dead body. That's a twofer. Oh. Suddenly it's a raid palooza. Whoop, 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 whoop. And also shameless socials. I played Master Quest by the Wild. I hated every single dang second I died a lot. Yeah, Master Quest is kind of unforgiving.
I fucked around and found out. Really fucking quick. Oh my god. Okay.
This will be quite a change of pace. I am playing a horror visual / murder mystery visual novel that Square Enix kind of shadow dropped on the Switch and Steam at the same time. Oh, that's an old one. Somehow I seem to dredge up like the older clips from other people. But here, sit back and relax as best you can, because we're talking about murder! Yay! She never met with Nejima in person, but she was made to go in and clean up, among other things. What good is that information? The girl's already dead! Wait, no, she's alive! That's right. Ichio Shirashi is alive. If you can find her and get her to talk, you can get her to spill the beans on this hideout, too. Investigator, I'm asking you. I should be going. The lady's not well. And it's just gonna say, yeah, his body was discovered at the Shiraishi home. Missing advertisements. Yeah, okay, so this is a summary of everything we've learned. On top of other things. Alright. In the meantime, this woman just found the dead body of the man that kidnapped and murdered her son. Winning me of late up from diabolic lovers because of the Hadness movement. He makes me think of a JoJo character. Are you feeling better now that we've gotten some fresh air, ma'am? I'm fine. Suddenly finding out who the kidnapper was really made me lose my wits. I managed to solve the kidnapping case by pure luck here. You're right, but Richter, I feel grateful towards Michio. Because she killed the kidnapper? There's that too. Huh. But it's for something else. Michio is the one killing all these people. And she must have acquired quite a sizable amount by now. Soul dregs, I mean. Hey, Richter. Whether the kidnapper's dead or alive doesn't mean a thing. Revenge won't bring my boy back. And if Nijima's planning to cause a massacre to collect soul dregs, then all the better. I won't give up on resurrection. So I'm counting on you.
Oh, God! A friend of mine was playing Detroit Become Human. All good. So, hang on. She's okay with the entire town getting massacred. She's actually okay with this. Alright, before I make any more timeline progress, let's see what we can learn from Yako. I would be too. Well, she literally doesn't care if the entire town dies if it means she can bring, well, I suppose if she can bring her son back. I don't know, my own morals couldn't make that okay. I can't equate the value of one life to another. Or the value of one life to many. It's not that simple. If my friend and I live, then yeah. That's the thing. I don't think she cares if she dies. She's absolutely broken. This whole affair, Yako and Mio decide to confront the man responsible for spreading rumors of it in the first place, Hideki Araishi. Find him at his frequent stomping grounds, Kudokikyo Cafe. So
while that was happening... Yeah, literally while all of that was happening. Oh, hey, a mockingbird. I'll have to yoink that real quick. Can I yoink that? You know, normally you'd be breaking school rules just by stepping foot in a cafe. I'll be in hot water if you lied about having permission from the police. Remember that. We know. It'll be okay. So we're safe talking to him because he doesn't have his curse anymore. And I think that's the voice I've been giving him. I don't know. I think I've slowly made him more... So, what did you want to ask me? Yeah, well, hold on. Yoink! I'll take that. Like Max and Chloe from Life is Strange. I never played Life is Strange. Cafe. I've never been to one before. How exciting. It's pretty smelly inside because of all the cigarette smoke. Oh, so that's why kids aren't allowed in here normally. Oh, yeah, no. What do you mean? I've never played. Oh, that. That's updated. Coffee on the shop in the South 40 Guess Who's Street. Chef's convenient, made out of favorite businessmen in the neighborhood. Although formerly a relaxing location where classical and jazz music were played, the cafe has begun incorporating pop songs into its playlists at the request of customers. Most popular menu is a pilaf served with a black coffee. Though cream soda is topped with a large scoop of ice cream is also a popular choice. Fashionable cafes featuring jazz and chocolate. Yeah, so this is like it's a street side cafe. It's a smoke shop. I want to make sure I get like a good look around. But I got the information. Someone who used to look up to play it a long time ago. Can I observe the teacher? No, we're just talking to him, huh? Alright. Yako, if you would. Right, I wanted to talk with you about this. Oh my, a curse stone. An Okami mask, that must mean the Fool's Procession. You two were at the school last night? Damn, there of all places. Yako, you're one of them? You're a curse bearer? Please calm down, Mr. Araishi. Your reaction is too intense. You're kind of scaring me. Sorry about that. I'm afraid I got ahead of myself. What is it you wanted to know about your curse stone? What would be the best way to approach this? Butter. It's just a brilliant teacher like you must know an awful lot about these curse stones. Well, it's true that I'm likely the person most well-versed in this matter. You're the only one I can count on, Mr. Araishi. Won't you help us, please? Oh, am I now? In that case, there's no harm in hearing what you have to ask. Thank you. Let's see. Why is everything with the Rite of Resurrection and 7 mysteries, curse stones, happening now? Oh, taking an interest now that you've received one of the curses, have you? You sound like a researcher studying your questions with your subject's origins. Mr. Araishi, you're not the one who triggered the curse, are you? No, I'm afraid I had nothing to do with that. Rather, I wasn't even attempting to do so in the first place. Completing the rite has nothing to do with my research. Then, do you know of the ancient Omyoto ritual known as the Feast of Shadows? What's that? Something from the occult? Mr. Kotosuzu, you look like the type who'd be interested in those kinds of things, but it's outside my field of expertise. In that case, why do you think the rite and curses have appeared now? I believe this is intentional work of someone. Certainly not something that would happen by accident. Why is it that you want to know? Well, you may not tell us anything if we say we're trying to stop the curse. We need to make something up, right? Oh, okay then. Well, you see, we just have such intellectual curiosity, and I think it could really help with our research. I see, now that you mention it. Seems like he's reluctant to answer. Then how about... That's his research. Stroke his ego. Oh, we figured you'd know since you're so smart. How disappointing. How dare you? You make it sound like I'm stupid. Couldn't be more wrong. Do you realize how devoted I am to this research? Allow me to first elucidate regarding the author of the Record of Fates. A special privilege, I might add, since I've yet to publish this in the paper. Yeah, okay. Record of Fates was written 200 years ago in the latter half of the Edo period. It was written by a skilled but little-known omyoji called Seimen Tsuchimikado. This is important stuff. If nothing else, remember this. Seimen Tsuchimikado? I've never heard of him. I'm sure you haven't. He was born into a famed omyoji family, but split away to practice forbidden arts in secret. He used whatever name was most convenient for the situation, so his real name barely exists in the records. Or so it was written in the Record of Fates. Huh. As brilliant as Seaman was, he was also eccentric. He delved into research of the Rite of Resurrection, a legendary forbidden ritual that had never been completed. However, by involving himself with his forbidden ritual, he was expelled from his family and eventually found himself in Honjo in Edo. Record of fates are up the writings of Seaman recorded on the road of Edo. I see. So he wrote about how to perform the rite himself. The Rite of Resurrection makes use of Abe no Seime's specialty, the Taizen Fukun ritual, a means of communicating with the afterlife. It uses soul dregs to replicate the soul of a dead spirit that has just been called. Oh, wow, I never knew something like that existed. Thus, it is only thought that the only ones who can use it are those with the ability to turn human souls into the soul dregs in the first place. So the Rite of Resurrection calls for that ritual to be performed in advance. Then, when the soul dregs are gathered and infused with the wish of whoever's performing the ritual, it can be completed. The contents written in the Record of Fates end here. There's no more? What about the 7 mysteries and the curse stones? There's nothing written about them in the Record of Fates. The curse stones are separate from the Rite of Resurrection. Except they aren't. That curse stone is one used to enable one who is unable to perform such rituals to be able to use the rite. So... Huh. So what had happened was someone heard about the Rite of Resurrection from him, and probably figured out that if they brought together the 7 mysteries of Honjo and embodied them into the curse stones, then people would be able to use the curse stones to collect soul dregs. So while it's not directly connected to the Rite of Resurrection, it is a mean of siphoning soul dregs to make the Rite of Resurrection happen. So someone very, very well versed in both, someone very invested in both studies is at the center of this. Alright. That's similar to what Mio said, actually. Myoji. Okay, I'm reading this one because this is actually worth knowing for people who don't know what a non-Myoji is. An officially appointed government position with the Bureau of Onmyo in medieval Japan. Onmyoji were tasked with performing divinations and rituals. They would employ Chinese philosophies of yin and yang and wuxing, the 5 elements, to compose astronomical charts and almanacs. These were basically the akin of wise men to like the kings and queens of Europe. Or not wise men. There is a specific name for it. Not a cleric. Like a counselor or something. Someone of a high council standing. An educator. Anyway, high-ranking practitioners use a variety of mystical arts, including one that brought natural disasters and curses. Onmyoji were also tasked with exorcising demons through the usage of shikigami, otherwise known as paper demons. Onmyoji thrived during the Heian period, in part due to the work of the famous Onmyoji and later founder of the Tsuchi Mikado clan, Abe no Seimei. This is actually... This isn't like stuff that they made up for this game. This is actual Japanese history here. I'm loving that part the most. Let's see. However, Onmyoji began to gradually decline and the number of samurai gained control of Japan. At the same time, many of the miraculous arts were lost along with the development of civilization. You know, similar to the witch hunts. Although the services of Onmyoji were typically reserved for the upper class, there were a number of shomonji, or hidden Onmyoji, who worked for the common folk. Huh. Alright, what else we got here? So how are the 7 Excuse me, Mr. Araishi? What is it, Kotosuzu? You published a theory before the incident took place. It said the Rite of Resurrection and the origin of the 7 mysteries of Honjo are related somehow. What proof did you have of that? You really know your stuff. What about that? There was a somewhat sensationalized piece written for occult magazines. Oh, really? It was just nonsense then? Not exactly. Rather, it's not a complete fabrication. There is a basis for it. And that is? Well, Suppose there's no harm in telling a couple students so passionate about this topic. Thank you. There's something I discovered from referencing numerous texts unrelated to the Record of Fates. It was just after Seimen arrived in Honjo. There are records of a conflict over a ritual used to resurrect the dead in Honjo. A conflict over resurrecting the dead? I don't know the details. A man enticed the public with claims of a spell that could resurrect the dead, causing a conflict that ended tragically with 9 dead. That is the only remaining reference. 9 people fighting over a resurrection ritual. I call this tragedy the Honjo incident, and has long been subject of my research. And I suspect the Honjo incident might be the very origin of the 7 mysteries of Honjo. That does connect, because all the mysteries do end in somebody dying in a tragic way, similar to the curse charms that are being used right now. So what you're saying is, the resurrection ritual at the root of the Honjo incident is Seimen's rite of resurrection? Yes, that is how the Record of Fates ties everything together. But in chronological order, first Seimen brought the rite of resurrection to Edo. We can assume that by this point, Seimen was likely using a different name. Then in Honjo, 9 people fought to the death over the rite, the Honjo incident. After that, the incident was covered up by an interested party, preventing it from being recorded in history fully. Eventually, it was passed down in incomplete pieces, becoming known as the 7 Mysteries of Honjo. A more or less course of events. Yeah, okay. So that's how they're connected. And if I'm getting this right, the 7 mysteries were basically required to gather the soul dregs necessary for the rite. And there's more. With this most recent occurrence of the curse, I become even more confident in my theory. You are? Yes, the reason for it being the resentful memories of the 7 mysteries etched into those who received the curse stones. Resentful memories. Yako, if you really are a curse bearer, when you obtained your curse stone, you would have had a resentful memory imprinted in your mind. I did! Exactly. Those memories are what happened to the final moments of the 9 who died in the Honjo incident. Hey, Neko. Hey, Grim Sage. Broadly speaking, they involved dying while bearing some kind of deep resentment. The 9 victims became the 9 curse echoes, which over time became to be spoken of the 7 mysteries, thus gathering the resentful memories granted by the present curses and connecting them together. It will reveal once and for all what happened to the Honjo incident. Huh. That's why you must tell me about the resentful memory of the fool's possession, Yako. Should I? Yeah, I think it's the only way. We need all the information we can get. Okay, Mr. Araishi, I'll tell you about the memory of the fool's procession. Excellent! So basically, it's about a woman who died falling from a Yagura tower at a festival. Lighter. So, quick explanation. What happened in the Fool's Procession is the woman fell off the tower. She finally, got a chance to be this idol dancer on the Yagura tower during a festival, but people pulled a prank on her by putting glue in the mask. So, where's Wacko and Dot? Firehop, be careful not to burn yourself. So, what happened was they glued the mask onto her, and she was struggling to get it off, and she'd been made the victim of a prank, and everybody at the festival thought she was dancing when she was trying to... Please let me get the joke. Of course, I made it earlier. I made it earlier in these videos. And incense. I bring candle and incense. Okay. Just be careful. She was actually struggling to get the mask off, and in her struggle, she fell off the tower. So now, anyone who hears the festival music that she heard for a long enough period, they die from the same impact that the woman had when she fell off the tower. Interesting. It's not that one, then. Not that one? What do you mean? Among the 9 victims at Honjo incident, that is to say the 9 curse echoes, one of them is Seiman himself, or so I suspect. Huh? Seiman was one of the victims of the Honjo incident too? Meaning an Onmyoji as powerful as him also became a curse echo? Right. It would make sense that the curse stone tied to a curse echo would be that special. The power of a curse stone is different based on the curse echo. Mio! Then maybe with Seiman's curse echo, we could... Yes, be able to settle this whole situation. Hey, what are you two whispering about? Bring 2 Crimson Butterfly. Yes, and yes. Oh, nothing. Sorry. Sir Raishi, how many resentful memories have you gathered so far? I have learned a number of them. The Evergreen Beach, the Foot-Washing Mansion, the Ever-Burning Lantern, and now the full procession makes 4. So he knows the memories without actually having the stones. Of those, the most important is the Foot-Washing Mansion and the Evergreen Beach. What are they about? First, the Foot-Washing Mansion. An Onmyoji appears distinctly in this one. Really? But not Seiman, I'm afraid. A female Onmyoji, who sought the rite of resurrection due to her obsession with her personal appearance. Her legs, which she had always taken pride in, were stricken with a corruption after she was defeated by Seiman. The curse echo is notable for being particularly easy to fulfill the requirements necessary to use the curse. Yeah, unless you're me and you turn off the voice settings in the game. I'm not kidding, that's how you defeat it. The detective did well to escape this one. So female Onmyoji and rival of Seiman were involved in the Honjo incident. That's certainly interesting. Next, the Evergreen Beach. This cursed echo is from a craftsman of Netsuke carvings named Jinkichi, who was once hanged for spreading baseless rumors. He apparently spoke of something that granted the ability to bring back the dead. The rite of resurrection. Precisely. This man Jinkichi must have been in contact with Seiman. I could just collect all the memories. Everything will be revealed, and the truth of the 7 mysteries will be mine. That is the knowledge I desire. You need to gather as much information as you can from the curse bearers. Precisely. I have an agreement to exchange information with those detectives, but they might not even find the other curse bearers, so I must take measures of my own. Another thing. Yes? You never really finished about what the trigger for all this was. Well, I don't know. Really? You're not hiding something from us, are you? It has something to do with how you obtained the Record of Fates, right? How did you really get a hold of the Record of Fates? To tell the truth, we're in a race against time. It could be a disaster if we don't hurry. What are you talking about? Someone left a warning that at sundown today they would use their curse to kill a lot of people. The one who left that message is the culprit behind the Nejima murders from 20 years ago. What? Something so terrible will happen. I won't allow potentially hundreds of people to become victims of a curse. I'll do anything in my power to stop it. Sir Raishi, please, tell us everything you know. I'm sorry, but I truly don't know anything. The truth is, I was given the Record of Fates by a woman. A woman? Well, her voice sounded like a woman's, but I didn't actually see what she looked like. 1 month ago, while I was investigating at night, I suddenly heard a formless voice. A woman's voice. It said, I entrust you with this ancient manuscript and the rite of resurrection held within its pages. Spread rumors of this ritual as far and wide as you can in the coming month. And before I knew it, the old document had fallen at my feet. 1 month. She specified the time period. I was told that if I did that, I could study the manuscript as much as I please. I wanted so badly to verify its authenticity, I ended up accepting. I haven't heard anything from the voice since then. Must have had you spread rumors in order to strengthen the power of the curse. To tie together the curse and the desire to seek out the right. This makes it likely that the owner of the voice is the mastermind behind all this. Hence, I went public with the Record of Fates. Hihaku and the cult magazines immediately Jumping at the news was a financial boon for me. Huh? Hihaku? Isn't Hihaku soaps? Right. No, that's not important. Just some personal business. After that, I waited, trying to predict what would occur in a month's time. That's when the curse began. Those are all the details I have. Very well, I've told you this much. I may as well tell you one more thing. Thank you. What might that be? About Sayman's Record of Fates. There is a sort of continuation to it. Another document called the Record of Fates Yin Scroll. A continuation? Actually, a section written in Sayman's own hand was appended in the manuscript. According to which, after the Honjo incident, Sayman lamented such a calamity taking place. He apparently wrote the addendum for the event the tragedy became its own curse. It seems he had an idea that the victims of the Honjo incident would turn into curse echoes and be used to gather soul dregs. It supposedly details how to handle any trouble that occurs as a result of the rite of resurrection. We could kind of use that. Hold on a second. Don't you find that strange? What's the matter, Miss Sakazaku? You think my information's inaccurate? If Sayman died in the Honjo incident, then he couldn't have written the addendum. You really don't get it, do you? Yeah, am I wrong? Have you forgotten the ability Sayman possessed? Of course not. He could use the rite of Oh! You're telling me Sayman used it on himself? Rite of Resurrection can be carried out in advance so that it activates when the soul dregs are gathered together. Addendum. I'm gonna go take a shower now. Ready. Soul dreg. Soul dregs. Then it is not possible that Sayman himself was resurrected by the rite after it all took place. But he'd still have to collect the soul dregs he needed to use the rite. Yes, and that's why they died. The 8 others besides Sayman. What? They died in the Honjo incident for their soul dregs. That sounds like it's the same as what's happening now. That's why I needed the resentful memories, to learn the truth. I get it now. The issue at hand is that the Yin Scroll and the Record of Fates were supposed to have been passed down as a set. When I received the Record of Fates, the Yin Scroll was gone. Only this information was left. Supposedly, Sayman's blood descendants guarded it as they passed it down across generations. Seems that over their long history, the two documents became separated and the scroll's location lost as the family line branched. Sayman had descendants, so there's someone out there related to him by blood even now. Yes. In fact, I've tried to trace the line as far as I could. He wasn't a well-known Onmyoji to begin with, so a detailed family tree does not exist. It seems likely that the only manuscript has been long forgotten, only being passed down out of tradition. And since they aren't even aware of what they have, tracking it down is tricky indeed. Nice! I wish I could ask whoever that voice belonged to about the Yin Scroll. I'm sure you do. So basically, in the Record of Fate's Yin Scroll, Sayman himself wrote about the ways to handle the curse and rite, yes? Yes, that's right. I've been searching for it all this time. I haven't found a single lead. So if you do find out anything more, any other resentful memories or the Yin Scroll, tell me immediately. You owe me that much for telling you all this, do you not? That's the real extent to everything I know. You and Tsuchimakoto. Okay, yeah. That's a summary of everything we just heard. Yes, I understand. Thank you for your help. If you bring me some useful information, I'll take it into consideration for your school grades as well. Something doesn't sit right, though. Now it's just a street. We've learned a lot. So to sum it up, there was a tragic incident with people cursing each other with the rite of resurrection in the Edo period as well. And the Record of Fate's Yin Scroll may have info we want since it details how to stop the rite. I think that's about it. Right. If we could just find the Yin Scroll, we might be able to learn how to settle this situation.
Wouldn't it be something if Mio was the baby?
But even Mr. Araishi didn't have any leads on where it is. How do we start looking for it? Someone involved in this now must have some connection to it, I think. I have a feeling the mastermind who awakened the curses is involved too. Right! So, Mio, what are you going to do next? Good question. It may be best to give the information we just learned to Inspector Satsumi. Got a pretty big clue from him from hearing about the Record of Fate's Yin Scroll. Mr. Satsumi might know more about it. Shall we go back to school then? Yeah, that's our point of contact after all. Whoever's behind the Record of Fates that gave Mr. Araishi the voice that gave blah 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 blah. What is English? Nihonjo wa? Whoever's behind the voice that gave Mr. Araishi the Record of Fates, that must be the mastermind, don't you think? Yeah, and it sounds like he belonged to a woman. Whoever it is, I bet they're scary. Huh? You don't sound like the Yako I know. Then let's catch him and make him spill the beans. I thought you'd say something like that. Really? I guess I'm just not really feeling that confident right now. I understand. I don't know if it's related to that woman behind the voice, but I'm also interested in the female on Nyoji that was a rival of Seiman. Oh, that reminds me, Mio. You know what's nearby here, don't you? Hmm? Oh, you mean where Michio... Yeah, where it happened. I was going there every day to leave flowers, even though they always get cleared away anyways. I'm sure it must be hard to have reminded Michio's death all the time. That reminds me, Yako... Yeah? When you asked me to the spirit board 2 days ago, did you come here that day too? Yeah, I left some flowers before going to school. Why? Did anything seem different that day? What's that all of a sudden? Though, now that you mention it, that day I suddenly felt lightheaded and ended up passing out for a little bit. Ah ha ha! She got possessed! Wait. She got possessed.
Okay, it's all coming together. Oh, it's all coming together.
But I came to right away and felt fine, so I didn't think anything of it. I see. That was all I was wondering about. Thanks.
Excuse me, you girls over there. Oh, not him again.
Whoa! Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but something you said caught my attention. Who might you be? I'm Yutaro Namagaki. I should probably tell you. Until yesterday, I was a curse bearer. That should clear things up. Curse bearer? Oh, you don't need to be scared. I already gave up the curse stone of the foot washing mansion. Washing mansion? So you're the one Inspector Satsumi was talking about. Who it is? You already know Inspector Satsumi. That makes it simple. There's nothing to worry about. Oh, hey! You're in the driver's seat. Yako? Yes, what? Just now, I was doing something? Sorry, Mr. Namagaki. What might be the matter? Right, I actually wanted to discuss something with you two. Would you come with me if you have a little time? Discuss something with us? You were talking about Michio Shiraishi, right? It's related to that. Huh? I'm sure you two would learn a few things yourselves. If not now, later is fine. I'll be waiting at Ryogoku Bridge. Something rubs me the wrong way about this, but he mentioned Michio. What should we do?
Go to the school first.
Sorry, there's something we've got to take care of, so we'll have to pass. Is that so? Well, that's too bad. I'm in no rush, so I'll be waiting at Ryogoku Bridge if you change your minds.
Either he's going to die and we lose information, or I just took a safe route. I made a wrong choice. So we're gonna cut through this, and now I'm gonna make the other choice. Yeah, he's a curse bear. Oh boy. The game does a good job of being like, hey, so you kind of made the wrong choice. Unless if there's something I need to see first. Hi, Final. Well, I suppose we may as well hear what it is you have to say. Glad to hear it. Shall we relocate elsewhere? So, what did you want to discuss with us? Let's see, how do I put this? I'll tell you straight. I want you to use your curse stones to bring Michio Shiraishi back from the dead. What? It's why I was pursuing the rite of resurrection first. So, he's responsible for killing Michio and wants to use the curse stone to bring her back. Unfortunately, I had to give up my curse stone before I could succeed. But you two are curse bears with some kind of connection to her. Which means this is the perfect opportunity for me to ask you this. Well, I'm sorry this is all so sudden. I still don't understand why you want this. What exactly is your relationship with Michio? Well, we met briefly once. I was so sad to hear the news of her death the other day. He killed someone to bring them back. No, I think he killed her on accident. And he's so guilty about it that he's using the rite as a means of bringing her back. Right. While it would be great if we could bring Michio back, we've already decided not to use the rite of resurrection. Is that so? It seems, however, that we share a goal. Would you mind collecting soul dregs? I wouldn't mind collecting the soul dregs for you if you gave me a curse stone, you know. We'll have to decline on that as well. Our goal is to stop the curse. I see. Well, that's too bad. I suppose we'll have to give up on the curse stones. Thank you for understanding. Yako knows something. It's a little suspicious, but he left without making a fuss. But why does he want to bring Michio back? Huh? Yako? Uh-oh, did you go up somewhere while we were talking? Oh. Yako's possessed by Michio. Oh, dear. Uh-oh. Oh god, we're fast-forwarding to dusk. Oh boy! Heh, I finally caught up to you. I don't know if you noticed me following you or not, but leading me to a secluded place, you've got guts. I'm sorry, but I'll be taking your curse stone. Either you hand it over or I'll have to take it by force. What? Why? Are you? No. She's here again. I don't understand. Wait, it was just an accident. I swear, I didn't mean to. That's why I was trying to bring you back.
We're already.
Yeah, no, that doesn't feel right. After this, Fumichika Nejima went on to use the power of the curse stone to commit his mass murder, shocking the public with his unprecedented tragedy. Well, I just screwed up. And from that day on, Yako Sakazaki was never heard from again. So Yako is possessed by Michio. Oopsie! Did I just do a mass murder?
Whoopsies. Alright, so I cannot make any further progress from this point. Meanwhile, I like that we see the timeline. We're nearing the end of this day.